Hey guys, what's going on? H-Dub here, and I am back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Now before I get started, I just want to give a huge shout out to the Saffron man, who is just an awesome guy, awesome content creator, awesome streamer, provided me with a great opportunity to participate in the Raid Awards this year. That was just a few weeks ago. I had an awesome time collaborating with everyone, and I just want to give him a huge just token of appreciation here. So guys, go and check him out, show him some love. I will definitely drop links to his socials and whatnot in the description. Now today we're going to be talking about mid-game progression. I had someone comment on one of my older videos, actually one of my first videos, asking me to do something about mid-game, and so here we are today, and I'm going to give you guys just a couple of tips, some things that I think could be helpful. Now first of all, what is mid-game, right? There's a Murder Inc. video where he kind of defines every stage of progression in the game, and you guys should definitely check it out. We all know Murder Inc. is a very well-respected person in the community. He has done immense things in this game and for the player base. Now, if we take a look at the document that he created, which is on his video, we can see here that mid-game, as he defines it, is 10 to 15 plus 6-star champions, full masteries on 6 to 7+ champions. All dungeons you're able to clear at level 15 or higher, with stage 15 or higher. Most factions close to stage 15. Doom Tower 2/3 of the normal rotations on farm. Hard progression started. Above silver 3 each reset in arena. Not really doing 3v3 yet, and nightmare progression has started, but you have not gotten the top chest. Now a lot of people, when they start this game out, they do yeet a lot of shards, and I know I am an advocate for yeeting shards, but we should all be trying to be as efficient as possible in this game. And what I mean by that is, you can yeet your shards, but you should be trying to 6-star champions. It is not enough to use a bunch of champions at level 50. Sometimes it can be a pain, and it can make things take longer than they should. You should be 6-starring as many champions as you can, and also getting their masteries. Now, one thing that is not mentioned at all in this list for any part of the progression is the Great Hall, and I think the Great Hall is a great asset to every account. These are stats that will greatly contribute to your champion power and your player power, obviously, but more importantly, champion power and team power as a whole, and stats that you won't have to rely on rolls from gear to get, and that can have a tremendous impact on how you're able to build your champions. So I definitely encourage you to start focusing on the Great Hall as soon as you can. Farm as much arena as you can. Now arena can be tough for some people in the early and mid game, but I think the reason for this is because most people are trying to build comps that aren't necessarily friendly to early and mid game, and maybe more in game, and they don't quite have the gear, or they're thinking that they need certain champions when they really just need to get creative with the gearing and think about their comps a bit differently. I've been able to make a lot of progress helping people with early and mid game accounts in arena, only because I understand the opponents and what they're trying to do with their comp. And so my first advice for building a Great Hall and progressing in the arena is to fight every fight. Okay, now you might look at a page and say, okay, I can't beat this team, I can't beat this team, just looking at it, right? You might click on the avatar and see the opponent's player power and get discouraged, but you should not. You should be fighting every fight in arena. Even if you think you're gonna lose, still fight the fight, because you never know how it's gonna go. You can't predict the entirety of what someone else's gear looks like. You can kind of get some indication based on their player power, their player level as well, and the champions that they're using. You can kind of see what kind of comp they're going for, but you will never know if you can win the fight if you don't fight the fight. And so with that being said, hop into as many fights as you can, so that you can also know how the mechanic of your team is going to work against those opponents. Now, as far as champions goes, I do encourage you to 6-star as many champions as you can. you also want to be getting masteries for those champions. Now, there are a lot of champions that you can make work with decent gear without masteries, but you have to have the gear to do that. Masteries are always a bonus, and they can get you over the top. A lot of people recommend farming the masteries in the Minotaur. Personally, I don't do it. I probably only have maybe 5 or so champions that I've actually farmed masteries for, but it takes forever. I like to play the game how I like to play the game. I want to do stuff when I want to do it, so I usually save up 800 gems and I'm mastering my champs one at a time. Every time I get 800, somebody gets mastery. Now, if you are in the mid game, depending on the champs that you have pulled already, right? Because he says here, you have made some progression in Doom Tower, right? Now, I want you to also think about this. You don't have to do Doom Tower. Now, there are benefits for doing Doom Tower. You're going to get some resources for sure. You're going to be able to get fragments for champions you don't have, and you're also going to be able to get gear that is not accessible in other places in the game. But don't feel like you have to do the Doom Tower. Now, don't succumb to the FOMO, all right? FOMO is real in this game. If you succumb to the FOMO, you will find yourself doing a lot of things in this game that you don't necessarily have to do to progress your account. So I would advise you to not focus on Doom Tower if you just don't have the resources or the champions to do it. As far as Faction Wars is concerned, we all know that you need at least 5 champions in the faction to even get 3 stars on a stage. This can be very difficult for someone in the mid game as defined by Murder, because you're only gonna have, 10, 15 plus 6-star champions, which is reaching. I would say reaching to say that you're going to be completing a lot of factions. You might be able to complete some of the easier factions, and some of the ones that don't necessarily have Valk stages or health swap bosses, what have you. So progress definitely up to possibly that second boss, definitely not the last boss, the final boss in Faction Wars, but push it as far as you can. I would strongly suggest making more chickens though than saving champs for Faction Wars in the mid game. You should be making chickens so that you could level up champs that will help you progress further in the dungeons so that you can get better gear. Because the faster you can get to stage 20 dungeons, right? We all know Dragon 20 is very easy to get to, especially if you got Ninja. If you're using Kale as your starter, even Elhain as the starter, you shouldn't have a problem getting to level 20 dungeon in the Dragon. Now, as far as 3v3 goes, he did say 3v3 is not applicable for mid-game players. There are some things to consider there. Now, if you want to collect the Drekstar fragments, you're going to have to get some gold bars so that you could actually buy those fragments. So I do suggest you at least attempt to do some 3v3 so that you could get your free Drekstar. Now, Drex is an amazing champion, and if you would like to push a little bit in the Doom Tower at this stage in the game for you, I would suggest you do 3v3, get that Drex so that you could be using him. He is an amazing champion for the Doom Tower. He can pretty much help you take down most of the bosses, not many of the new bosses, so that includes Bommel, Dark Fae, but pretty much every other boss you can use Drex on. With the right build, he can pretty much solo it, and the right supports. Lastly, I'll just say that if you're not in a good clan or an active clan, a clan that is progressing together, I would suggest that you go and get in a clan that is active, a clan that is going to actually help you progress. It is very hard to play this game alone. I played this game alone for 8 months before I actually got into a clan that got me to the point that I am at now. So if you need a clan, I'll put a link in the description also for the For the Horde cluster. That is the cluster that I am in. For the Horde, great cluster. We have 16 clans of all stages. So we have people doing easy, normal, brutal, hard, Ultra Nightmare. We're doing everything. All right, whatever it is, we're doing it. Okay, so you can hop in and we can find a place for you. There's a great community there. We have, well over 600 people in the Discord, and we can definitely help you out. But hope this video helped out the mid-game players. If you're late in game, this video is not for you. Also, the giveaway is still going on, so be sure to go comment HWZ on the collab video that I did with Darth Microtransaction for your chance to enter into the giveaway. You also have to be subscribed to the channel as well as subscribe to his channel. You're going to want to hop in his Discord so that you can keep up to date with when the giveaway is going to pop off. All right. And with that being said, have a good one, be blessed, and be well.